Students, today we will discuss a very important topic of group theory, power of an element of a group. Let G be a group under composition, multiplication, and if A be an element of G, then by closure property A dot A also belongs to G. A dot A can be written as A square. If A square belongs to G, then A square dot A also belongs to G, because G is a group and closure property holds good in this group G. A square dot A means A cube also as an element of G, and so on. That means A cube dot A, which is equal to A4, also belongs to G, and so on. We can write A raised to power n also belongs to G. Now, because inverse of every element exists in G, then A inverse also belongs to G. Because G is a group under multiplication, this means A inverse dot A inverse also belongs to G, because group is closed under multiplication and A inverse is an element of G. Therefore, multiplication of A inverse dot, that is A inverse dot A inverse, which may be written as A raised to power minus 2, is an element of G. Similarly, A inverse dot A inverse dot A inverse, which is denoted by A raised to power minus 3, and so on, are elements of G. Because A dot A inverse is equal to E, identity element of G, this means we may write A0, A raised to power 0 is equal to E, that is power of A0 is equal to E. Similarly, A raised to power n, which may be written as A dot A n times for all elements of the type A raised to power n, A raised to power minus n, which is equal to A raised to power minus 1 raised to power n, which is equal to product of A raised to power minus 1 raised to power minus 1 n times, also an element of G. A raised to power minus n, which may be written as A raised to power minus 1 raised to power n for all natural numbers, also belongs to G, where A raised to power n belongs to G for all n. For addition operation in the group G under addition, A plus A is equal to 2A. This means 2A also belongs to G, because under addition group is closed. This means A plus A must be and must belongs to G. Similarly, if we add 2A plus A, which is equal to 3A, also is an element of G, and so on. NA, which is addition of A n times, because group is closed under addition, this means n is an also element of G. If we take n equal to 0, then 0A is equal to 0. Here 0 is the left identity of the group. On right side 0, left side 0 is the 0 integer, and right side 0 is the 0 element of the group, which is identity element of the group. if we take n equal to minus 1, if we take this n equal to minus 1, then minus 1 into a is equal to minus a, which is additive inverse of a, also belongs to G, because the inverse of every element of the G exists. For all a, minus a belongs to G. Minus a is an element of G. This means minus a plus minus a also belongs to G due to closure property. That implies minus 2a belongs to G, minus 2a. Similarly, minus a plus minus a plus minus a plus minus a also belongs to G due to closure property, and so on. This means minus n into a, which is equal to minus a plus minus a plus minus a n times, also belongs to G for all Na elements of G. Here n is called the power of element. In the group G under operation multiplication, a raised to power n is equal to as an element of G. This means n is the power of element. In the addition, Na belongs to G. This means power of A is n. In a group G, under given operation, this operation may be a multiplication or addition operation. For all a element of G, for positive integer m and n, we can easily prove with the help of mathematical induction. A raised to power m into a raised to power n is equal to a raised to power m plus n. Also, a raised to power m raised to power n is equal to a raised to power mn, and a raised to power minus n, which can be written as a raised to power minus 1 raised to power n, is equal to a raised to power n raised to power minus 1. These are the some laws known as laws of indices in a group. Now, what is the order of an element? If A be an element of G, then there exists a positive integer. If there exists a positive integer n such that a raised to power n is equal to e, then A is said to have finite order, and the smallest value of n, smallest positive integer n with this property such that a raised to power n is equal to e is called the order of A and is denoted by OA. If there is no n such that a raised to power n is equal to e, a raised to power n is equal to e, then A is said to have infinite order, or order does not exist, or we can say order is 0. In a group G, order of identity element is always equal to 1, because e raised to power 1 is equal to e. Therefore, in any group, order of identity element is always equal to 1. For example, in a group q minus 0, q is set of rational numbers, minus 0 means set of rational numbers except 0. Order of 1 is equal to 1, because 1 raised to power 1 equal to 1. Here 1 is the identity element of this group. Under multiplication, and order of minus 1 is equal to 2, because minus 1 raised to power 2 is equal to 1, and all other elements of this group, for all other elements of this group, order does not exist. Suppose that we take element 2 of this group q minus 0, there exists no n such that 2 raised to power n is equal to identity element of this group, and that is 1. There is no n such that 2 raised to power n is equal to 1. This means order of 2 does not exist. Similarly, for any element of this group, there is no n positive integer such that a raised to power n is equal to 1. This means order of any other element of this group does not exist. And we have a very important theorem in this regard. Suppose that we have a group G and G is finite group. Then in a finite group G, the order of every element exists. Suppose that G is a finite group of order n and A be an element of G, then by closure property A square, A cube and so on will be the elements of group G. But G is a finite group. This means this collection contains finite number of elements, and in this set all elements must different, but these are the powers of A square, A cube and so on. Therefore, because G is a finite group, sum of these elements of this set must be equal. Let us suppose that a raised to power I is equal to a raised to power j, where I and j are positive integer and I is not equal to j. Let us take I greater than j. This means I minus j will be a positive integer. Now a raised to power j is an element of G and G is a group. In a group, inverse of every element exists. This means a raised to power minus j also belongs to G. Now a raised to power I is an element of G and a raised to power minus j also belongs to G. Under multiplication, a raised to power I dot a raised to power minus j, which may be written as a raised to power I minus j, belongs to G. Here we have taken that a raised to power I is equal to a raised to power j. This means a raised to power I minus j will be equal to a raised to power 0. But a raised to power 0 is equal to identity element of the group. Now a raised to power any positive power of A is equal to E. Then by well ordering principle, let m be the smallest positive integer such that a raised to power m is equal to E. Then order of A is equal to m. But A is an element of G, therefore order of every element in this group is finite order. This means every element of the finite group, order of every element exists. Thus order of every element of the group exists and is a finite number. Now another important theorem, let G be a group and A be an element of G having order m, Then we prove that a raised to power 0 equal to e, identity element of G, a raised to power 1 a square, a raised to power m minus 1 up to a raised to power m minus 1. All these elements are different. And second, we prove that for all all integers, a raised to power n is equal to some one of the above list. We have given that order of a is equal to m, where a is an element of G and G is a group. A raised to power m equal to e, because order of a is equal to m and m is the least positive integer such that a raised to power m is equal to e. Now we let us suppose that a raised to power I and a raised to power j, which are one of the one or two or elements of this list, e, a raised to power 2, a raised to power 3. Let us take two elements a raised to power I and a raised to power j, which are equal. Let us suppose, if possible, where I and j are integers between 0 and less than m, and I is not equal to j, and let us take I is greater than j. Because I raised to power j is an element of G, this means inverse of this element exists, and a raised to power minus j also belongs to G. Now, by operating a raised to power I dot a raised to power minus j, which may be written as a raised to power j dot a raised to power I dot a raised to power minus j, which may be written as a raised to power minus I minus j, a raised to power I minus j, which is equal to a raised to power 0, because a raised to power I is equal to a raised to power g. We have taken that a raised to power I is equal to a raised to power 0. This means a raised to power I minus j is equal to a raised to power 0, and a raised to power 0 is equal to identity element, which is a contradiction, because we have taken that m is the only smallest positive integer such that a raised to power m is equal to e. Therefore, our supposition is wrong. M is the only smallest positive integer such that a raised to power m is equal to e, and in this list no two elements are equal. That is, all the elements e, a square, a raised to power m are different. Now, suppose that n be an integer and n is equal to m q plus r. When n is divided by m, suppose q is the quotient and r is the remainder, where r is less than equal to greater than equal to 0, less than m. Let us take an element a raised to power n. This can be written as a raised to power m q plus r, because n is equal to m q plus r, which will be equal to a raised to power m q dot a raised to power r. A raised to power m q can be written as a raised to power m raised to power q into a raised to power r, because order of a is equal to m. This means a raised to power m will be equal to e raised to power q dot a raised to power r. Any power of identity element e will also equal to e. This means e raised to power q is equal to e dot a raised to power r. E dot any element is equal to that element, means e raised to power e dot a raised to power r will be equal to a raised to power r. That is, a raised to power n will be equal to a raised to power r. but R lies between 0 and 1. Therefore, a raised to power n will be an element from this list. That is, a raised to power n will not be a different element, which will be a one of the element from this list. Now, a very important theorem, very important theorem. Let us suppose G be a group and A be an element of any element of G whose order is m. Then order of a raised to power k will be equal to m upon GCD of mk or HCF of mk, where k is an natural number. Suppose that order of a raised to power k is equal to t, then we have to show that t is equal to m upon mk, GCD of mk. Now, a raised to power kt will be equal to a raised to power k raised to power t, which will be equal to e, because a raised to power k is equal to a raised to power k can a raised to power t can be written as a raised to power k t. This will be equal to e. This will be equal to e, identity element of the. This will be equal to e, identity element of the group, because we have given that a raised to power m. This a raised to power kt will be equal to e, and also order of a is equal to m. This means a raised to power m is equal to e. We have taken that a raised to power k equal to t e. This means m divides kt, because order of a is equal to m. According to the definition of order of a, m is the least positive integer such that a raised to power m is equal to e, and a raised to power kt will be the integer which is greater than m, such that kt we have taken it is equal to e. This means m divides kt. Now, let d be the GCD of m and k, because g is the GCD. This means d divides m and d divides k. Let us take m is equal to m1d, because d divides m, there exists an integer m1 such that m is equal to m1d, and also d divides k, there exists k1 such that k is equal to k1d, where m and m1 k1 are co-prime, that is their GCD is equal to 1. m1 will be equal to, from this equation, will be equal to m upon t. Here we have to show t is equal to m1, t is equal to m1, because m divides kt, but m is equal to m1d, m is equal to m1d. Putting the value of m, m1d divides kt. kt. Here we have kt. Putting the value of k, this will be equal to m1 d divides k1 dt, k1 dt. Cancelling d1, m1 divides k1 t, here k1, m1 divides k1 t, but m1 and k1 are co-prime, that's GCD of m1 and k1 is equal to 0. This means from this equation m1 only divides t, not m1 is a factor of k1, because m1 and k1 are relatively prime numbers. Again, a raised to power k raised to power m1, which will be equal to a raised to power k m1, putting the value of k will be equal to a raised to power k1 d, because k is equal to k1 d. A raised to power k1 will be equal to a raised to power k1 d m1, and dm1 is equal to m, which can be written as a raised to power m raised to power k1, but order of a is equal to m. This means a raised to power m will be equal to e raised to power any power k1 will be equal to e. But order of a raised to power k is equal to t. Here a raised to power k raised to power 1 is equal to e. This means this power k m1 is a factor of t. Sorry, m1 is a factor of t, that is t divides m1. Here in equation 1 we have written that that is m1 divides t, and in equation 2 t divides m1. This is only possible when t is equal to m1, but m1 is equal to m by d, and d is the GCD of m and k. Therefore, order of a k will be equal to m upon d is equal to m upon GCD of m and k. If order of a is equal to m, then order of a raised to power k is also equal to m, if and only if GCD of m and k is equal to 1. From the above theorem, we have proved that order of a raised to power k is equal to m upon GCD of m and k if GCD of m and k is equal to 1. By putting the value of GCD of m k is equal to 1, order of a raised to power k comes out to be m. If order of element a is equal to p, where p is a prime number, then order of a raised to power k will be equal to p, because for all prime numbers GCD will be equal to 1. See this theorem, which is very important in the topic order of an element. Let a and b and x be an element of G, then we have to prove that order of A inverse is equal to order of A, x raised to power minus 1, that is x inverse A x raised to power A k is equal to x inverse A raised to power k x for all k integers. Order of A is equal to order of x inverse A x, order of A b is equal to order of B A. Let us suppose that order of A is equal to m and order of A inverse is equal to n. suppose the order of A and order of A inverse are different. This means m and n are least positive integers such that a raised to power m is equal to e, because order of A is equal to m, and from the definition of order of an element, a raised to power m will be equal to e, and A inverse raised to power n will be equal to e. Now, A inverse raised to power m will be equal to A raised to power minus m will be equal to A raised to power m inverse, but A raised to power m equal to e. This means A raised to power m inverse will be equal to E raised to power inverse, but inverse of identity element is always equal to identity element. This means n is the because n is the least positive integer such that A raised to power minus 1 raised to power n is equal to e, and here we have proved that A raised to power minus raised to power m is equal to e. This means n divides m. Again, A raised to power n will be equal to A raised to power minus 1 raised to power minus n, which may be written as A inverse raised to power n raised to power minus 1, because order of A inverse is equal to n, therefore this will be equal to e, and E inverse is equal to e, and here we have proved that A raised to power n is equal to e, but order of A is equal to m. This means m divides n. In first equation n divides m, and in second equation we have proved that m divides n. From first and second we get m is equal to n. Therefore, order of A and A inverse are equal. Now we shall prove that x inverse A x raised to power k is equal to x inverse A raised to power k x for all k integers. We shall prove this by mathematical induction, and if we take k is equal to 1, in the left hand side x inverse A x raised to power 1 will be equal to x inverse A 1 x, which is equal to right hand side if we put k in the right hand side equal to 1. Therefore, this result is true for k equal to 1. Let us assume that this result holds for k equal to m, that is x inverse A x raised to power m is equal to x inverse A raised to power m x is true. Now, x inverse A x raised to power m plus 1 will be equal to x inverse A x raised whole raised to power m into x inverse A x raised to power 1. Then by using this result, x inverse A x raised to power m is equal to x inverse A raised to power m x. This will be equal to this x inverse A raised to power m x into x inverse A x. By using associative law, x inverse A raised to power m into x inverse A x, this can be written as in this way, but x into x inverse is equal to e. Again, e into a will be equal to a, and A raised to power m into a will be equal to A raised to power m plus 1. This means result is true for k equal to m plus 1 also. Hence, by principle of mathematical induction, the result is true for all positive integers. Also for k is equal to 0, x inverse A x raised to power 0 will be equal to e, and E can be written as x inverse Ex, because x inverse x is equal to E, and this E will be equal to a raised to power 0, and this result is also true for k equal to 0. Now we take that k is equal to minus m, where m is a positive integer and k is negative. X inverse a x raised to power k will be equal to x inverse a x raised to power minus m, which may be written as x inverse a x raised to power m whole inverse, and by using the above result, this will be equal to x inverse a raised to power mx inverse, and by reversal law, this will be equal to x inverse a raised to power minus m x inverse of x inverse, because inverse of x inverse is equal to x, this will be equal to x inverse a raised to power k x. This means the result is true for k equal to 0 and negative integers also, hence the result is true for all integers. In third property, order of element A is equal to order of x inverse A x. Let us suppose that order of x inverse A x is equal to m, and order of A is equal to n, both are different, let us suppose. But we have to prove that these order of x inverse A x is equal to order of A. We have to prove that order of both elements are equal. Now, order of x inverse A x raised to power n will be equal to, according to the first property, x inverse a raised to power n x, because order of A is equal to n, then a raised to power n will be equal to E, this will be equal to x inverse E x, and E x is equal to x, x inverse x is equal to E. X inverse A x raised to power n is equal to E. This means, but order of x inverse A x is equal to m, this means order of this element m divides n, first equation. Now again, because order of x inverse A x is equal to m, this means x inverse A x raised to power m is equal to E. By using the above property given in first statement, x inverse A raised to power m x will be equal to E. E will be equal to x inverse x. This means x inverse A raised to power m x will be equal to x inverse E x. This means order A raised to power m is equal to E, that is order of A is equal to m. But we have taken order of A is equal to n, this means n divides m. Second, from first and second, in first m divides n, and in second n divides m. This is only possible when m is equal to n. Therefore, order of x inverse A x is equal to order of A. To prove fourth property, from third we have order of A is equal to order of x inverse A x for all A x elements of G by replacing A by A b and x by A. We get order of A b is equal to order of A inverse A b A, order of A inverse A b A, order of A inverse into A is equal to E, which will be equal to order of B A. That is order of A b is equal to order of B A. Next theorem, if A and B any two elements of G such that AB is equal to BA, then order of A, order of B, GCD of order of A, order of B is equal to 1, then prove that order of AB is equal to order of A into order of B. Let order of A is equal to M and order of B is equal to N, where M and N are relatively prime. Let order of AB is equal to K to show that K is equal to Mn, where AB is equal to BA. E is equal to AB raised to power Kn will be equal to A raised to power Nk, B raised to power Nk. A raised to power Nk, B raised to power N raised to power K, because order of B is equal to N, therefore B raised to power N will be equal to E. This will be equal to A raised to power Nk E raised to power K is equal to A raised to power Nk E will be equal to A raised to power Nk. That is A raised to power Nk is equal to E, but order of A is equal to M, therefore M divides Nk, but M and N are relatively prime, therefore M divides K. Similarly, E, because order of AB is equal to K, we have to show that K is equal to Mn. Now, E is equal to AB raised to power Mk. This will be equal to A raised to power Mk and B raised to power Mk. This is only can be written as because order of AB is equal to K, E raised to power AB E is equal to AB raised to power K raised to power any power M, because AB raised to power K is equal to E, because order of AB is equal to K. Therefore, this E identity element may be written as AB raised to power K raised to power M, which will be equal to AB raised to power K Mk. This can be written as A raised to power Mk, B raised to power Mk will be equal to A raised to power M raised to power K, B raised to power Mk, not R. A raised to power M is equal to E, because order of A is equal to M. This will be equal to E B raised to power Mk, E into B raised to power Mk will be equal to B raised to power Mk. That is B raised to power Mk is equal to E, but order of B is equal to N. This means N divides Mk, but M and N are relatively prime. GCD of M and N is equal to 1, therefore N divides K. In first M divides K, in second N divides K. From first and second, M divides K, N divides K means LCM of Mn divides K, but LCM of Mn and GCD of Mn is equal to Mn, therefore, but Mn GCD of Mn is equal to 1, therefore LCM of Mn is equal to M into N. LCM of M and N is equal to N. This means, putting in third equation, LCM of Mn is equal to Mn, M and N is equal to Mn. This means Mn divides K. Again, order of AB raised to power Mn is equal to order A raised to power Mn, B raised to power Mn, which will be equal to A raised to power M raised to power N, B raised to power N raised to power N. A raised to power M is equal to E, because order of A is equal to M and order of B is equal to N. E raised to power N into E raised to power M will be equal to E into E. E into E is equal to E. this means but order of AB we have taken equal to k, this means k divides mn, and in the fourth equation we have proved that mn divides k. From fourth and fifth equation k will be equal to mn. Here k is the order of AB and m is the order of A, n is the order of B. This means order of AB is equal to order of A into order of B. Now, what is idempotent element? In a semi group G, an element A is called idempotent element if A square is equal to A. If A square is equal to A. Let us take example. Show that if G is a group, then A is an element of G is said to be idempotent if and only if A is equal to E, the identity of G. Given that G is a group, A will be idempotent element if A square is equal to E. A square can be written as A into A, but we can write A is equal to A E on right hand side. After using left cancellation law, A will be equal to E, means in a group G an element will be idempotent element if A is equal to E. Conversely, let us take A is equal to E, because A is an element, identity element of A is an element of G. This means AA also belongs to G and AE also belongs to G. AE is equal to AA is equal to AE, AE is equal to E dot E dot E is equal to A, because A is equal to E, we have proved in the first step. This means A square is equal to A, that is A is an idempotent element of group G. Let G be a group such that A square is equal to E for all elements of G, then show that G is an abelian group. Or we can state this theorem as this question as, show that a group in which every element's own inverse is an abelian group, or each element of a group except the identity element of order is of order 2, then show that group is abelian. Let A and B be two element of G where A is not equal to E and B is not equal to E, and AB is also not equal to E. Because order of A is equal to 2, this means A square is equal to E, and order of B is equal to 2, this means A square is also equal to B. A square equal to E, this means A dot A is equal to E. A inverse AA is equal to A inverse E. After using associative law, A inverse A is equal to A inverse E is equal to E. This is equal to E, that implies A is equal to E. Or we can write it as A square, because A square is equal to E, A square may be written as AA is equal to E, AA into A inverse is equal to E A inverse. A into A inverse is equal to E, therefore A is equal to E into A inverse is equal to A inverse, that is A is equal to A inverse. A square is equal to E, this means A inverse is equal to A. Similarly, B square is equal to E, this means B inverse is equal to B. Also AB are element of G, therefore AB also belongs to G, closure property. Because order of every element of the group is 2, this means AB square is also equal to E. AB square is also equal to E. This means AB inverse is equal to AB. These are also equal. But AB inverse we have by using reversal law is equal to B inverse A inverse. Putting in this, B inverse A inverse is equal to AB. But B inverse is equal to B and A inverse is equal to A. This means BA is equal to AB. This is a commutative law. That means G is a abelian group. Now, last example. If in a group G, A raised to power 5 is equal to E and AB A inverse is equal to A square for all AB elements of G, prove that if B is not an identity element of G, then order of B is 31. Because B square is equal to AB A inverse given, therefore B raised to power 4 will be equal to AB inverse raised to power 2. By using this property, x inverse Ax raised to power n is equal to x inverse A raised to power nx, this will be equal to AB square A inverse. But B square is equal to AB inverse. Putting in this value in this step, this will be equal to ABB A inverse A inverse, which will be equal to A square B A inverse A inverse square. Similarly, again squaring, B raised to power 8 will be equal to A square B A minus 2 whole square. This will be equal to, again by using the first property, this will be equal to A cube B A raised to power minus 3. Similarly, B raised to power 16 will be equal to B A raised to power 4 B A raised to power minus 4. Again, B raised to power 32 will be equal to A raised to power 5 B A raised to power minus 5. But A raised to power 5 is equal to E, because we have given that A raised to power 5 is equal to E. This will be equal to E identity element A raised to power minus 5 will be equal to E inverse. E into B into E inverse will be equal to B. That is B 32 is equal to B. This can be written as B dot B raised to power 31 is equal to B dot E. After using left cancellation law, B raised to power 31 is equal to E. Therefore, order of B is equal to 31. Order of B is equal to 31, but 31 is a prime number. Order of B must divide 31, because according to this condition, the only possibility is that either 31 is the order of B or order of B divides 31, but 31 is a prime number, therefore order of B is equal to 31. Thank you, students.